Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing your August 2020 monthly predictions. A lot of you have been asking me what is going on with COVID-19 slash coronavirus and just, the economy. Are we getting another stimulus check? When are these numbers going down, etc.? So I'm going to start off with COVID-19 because that's a very hot topic. I know that everybody is asking about. So we're just going to get into it. Sit back, get your cup of tea, get your soda pop, whatever you drink or you're snacking on, and kind of just enjoy this. And don't be stressed out or worried about the predictions, but I'm going to give you the tea from Spirit. All right. So, regarding COVID-19, I do see a decrease in numbers, contrary to what is being pushed out on the media. These numbers are not accurate. They're not accurate. And that's all I can say. I know that there's going to be people that will believe anything that the media tells them. They will believe the numbers rather than a psychic. But I can tell you that the numbers are being manipulated, and they're being manipulated for several reasons. One is because there is an election coming up and they want to sway the vote one way or the other. The second thing is that there is a hidden agenda, and we're talking about like Soros and other key players that have an agenda regarding the election as well. The third thing is that a lot of these numbers are actually factoring in, and they're not going to tell you actual flu cases versus coronavirus. Because they are very similar. There are flu strains, both of them, but they're very different as well. But the total amount of infected daily and all of this pandemonium that is going on, it's all political, and the numbers are not accurate. And we're going to start seeing in the month of August a lot more revelations regarding the deceit behind these numbers. It is going to come out in one way or the other, whether it is through media that, one media source, because there are media sources. Not all media sources are bad or biased, but there are some out there that will publish the truth and will come out. Now, like I said recently, in the city that I live in, there was the newspaper is, sways to one political side, and they published something with the headlines that a certain hospital was a full capacity, blah, 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 something to that nature. And then we had several nurses that actually work in that hospital comment and said that these were all lies and fabrications, that it wasn't true. So again, when everything that's in the media is not actually factual. A lot of it is constrained and construed a different way to gain ratings, to create fear, to keep people's attention hooked, because that is what the purpose of a lot of these publications and medias, that's their purpose, to sell numbers or to have traffic into their site for people to subscribe to their malarkey and stuff like that. So again, that's what I'm seeing here, but I do feel like the numbers are gradually going to keep going down. This second wave that we're already what people don't realize is the second wave's already been here. The way that Spirit positioned it to me was that the first wave of the virus, when it initially hit, would have been from October 2019 to March 2020. From April until now is the second wave, okay? But people are going to say that the second wave is in the latter part of 2020, which is not accurate. But again, we're going to start seeing a lot of people waking up, people that have been spiritually asleep and believing these lies and fabrications that are being put out in the media, and the fear that, we're going to see a second wave in the fall, and it's going to be and we need another shutdown, etc. Like, we've never seen this with any other virus out there, and there's been other viruses like SARS, the H1N1, the swine flu. We've seen several of those, and I've said it in different months, different monthly predictions that I've done, but I have to reiterate it because now, I have a lot of new followers and subscribers, and I want to thank you guys so much for being here on my channel and listening to what I have to say. It means a lot. But again, do not operate out of a fear. Just be aware of everything that is going on. I do see that there are going to be some kind of news surfacing about a vaccine in 2020, in August of 2020, which is this coming month. When I'm filming this and when you're listening to this is actually in mid-July 2020. So come August, Spirit does reveal that there's going to be some new information kind of already. Either they have a vaccine that they're going to try to experiment with a trial, a set group of trial people. It's going to be like a clinical trial, and they're going to experiment on certain people. But there is a vaccine, and we may hear news about that new vaccine for those people that are interested in taking the vaccine. Again, I'm not one here to push or sway you to take a vaccine or not. Personally, I don't believe in vaccines, and that's just my opinion and my own personal beliefs. But again, I do see that. But the vaccine people are thinking, they're in this mentality that the vaccine is going to prevent you from catching COVID-19, which is not the case. You can still catch it, and what you're actually doing is putting a live, maybe not all live, but it is an inactivated or a strain of that virus into your system. And so with that itself, there are dangers, there are risks. It's just like taking any kind of medications that are prescribed. They all have a potential risk because everybody's body and chemistry is different. And I also will reiterate of what I've said before anybody said it. Well, I won't say that. Before it came out and it was like well known in the media that certain blood types are more affected by this virus than others, primarily A's and ABs. And you're looking at those two blood types that would be more prone to seeing a more severe type of infection, flu-like symptoms that could lead to complications. Other blood types like O's, and then like B's, I feel like those would not be as compromised as A's and ABs. Again, this is just information that I've been giving to all of you for the longest time, but I'm not a doctor, so this is not something that is like a diagnosis. I am a medical intuitive, but again, there are limitations onto what I can say and what I see, but that's what I get. I do feel like there is something going to be coming out or surfacing around Melania Trump. I don't know why this is coming out in August, but I feel like President Trump's wife is going to be at the forefront. Maybe she's going to start coming out and doing more speaking on behalf of her husband for re-election, but I see her stepping forward for some reason through the month of August. I feel like there's going to be a lot more. Either there's some kind of scandal that they're going to try to contrive against Melania, or it's just going to be something that she comes out and she's doing more public appearances. I feel like all the Trump family is going to be coming forward and kind of traveling to certain locations, supporting their dad and supporting the family for this re-election. I see a lot of unity when it comes to Trump's family, when it comes to getting him re-elected for this election 2020, right? With Biden, I feel like we're going to see a lot more of him, focused, his supporters, his fans, and we're going to see Barack Obama more, more vocal for him, etc. Something with Hillary also getting behind the train, and a lot of celebs endorsing Joe Biden, Joe Biden. So we're going to see him kind of being endorsed by a lot of celebrities. We're going to start seeing a lot more celebrities doing this vote, get out and vote in the month of August. Like they are prepping an agenda, I see, to try to get Biden in there. But there's a lot of distractions because, again, we have Kanye who is also, in there, and heaven knows who else is going to be put in, in this whole thing. But I feel like there's a lot of distractions going on. I do feel like in other parts of the world, not just in the U.S., we're going to see some kind of I want to say like a not necessarily a terrorist attack, but I feel like there is some kind. It could be a terrorist attack, but what Spirit reveals to me is that there may be some kind of attack on certain people that are out in the public, and this could be in the European countries. Or even in the Middle East, but there is some kind of unrest that is going on overseas, and I feel like it's something that it's not focused too much on the media here in the U.S., but it's something that's going on. So for our U.S. troops and soldiers, definitely they need to be very cautious. They need to be very prepared, because I feel like there could be attacks as we get closer into the election, because I feel like a lot of countries like Iran and Iraq, not necessarily that they hate the USA, but a lot of people in those countries that are part of these organized criminal organizations, they do despise the USA, and they see us as a weak entity right now, because people are against President Trump. People are not for this whole election, and we become kind of like the pariah of other countries like these. And I feel like this is like the perfect time for them to attack. And so Spirit is saying for our troops to be on high alert, for the officials that are in the U.S. Army, people that are serving overseas. Now, I don't want you to, any of the moms that are listening, or wives or family members that are out there that have active troops or active militants in the military serving overseas, to panic. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there is definitely an attack, but I do feel like there is going to be some uproar on the overseas, okay? Hurricane season, it can shift. I feel like we will start seeing in the climate a lot more activity through the month of August for some reason. I don't know if there's going to be like one major hurricane that hits, but there is going to be some weird weather patterns that we are going to see throughout the whole USA and other countries as well. And again, shark attacks. I had spoken about this, and I've been speaking about this, about being careful out in the water. August is no different. Until the end of August, I feel like we are still going to see. In fact, there was a 15-year-old, if I'm not mistaken, that was mauled to death by a shark in Australia. I believe that's where it happened. So we've been seeing a lot more sharks coming to the closer to the shore, and being in the shallow waters. So stay tuned to that. I'm also going to talk about Naya Rivera. She is the actress. I do feel like between now, when I did this reading, July of today is July the 12th, 2020. Between now and August, there is going to be more information that surfaces about her, and I'm hoping they do find her. I hope she is alive. I had done a video about this. I didn't feel that the energy was alive, and that's everything that was being pointed. But again, I could be wrong, and that's the whole thing about that. We just have to, look and see what spirit. But for some reason, they brought this up while as I'm channeling this information and bringing it to you. They are making me feel like the month of August is going to be very important in this case. And I say case because, again, I stand by what I said in the reading, that I don't feel like this was a suicide. I definitely feel like this was foul play, and this is possibly a homicide. Even if people, even if they were to find her body and say that she was drowned, and that this looks like to be like she had, killed herself, I don't feel that is what is going on here. Now, going on from her, I feel like with the human trafficking cases, a lot of you have been wanting me to do readings on the Wayfair thing. I will tell you that there's going to be a lot more that comes out about this. This is not a particular reading that I want to do, and I'm debating whether or not I will do it, only because that energy is so low, and it affects me personally on a physical and spiritual level when I have to tap into that kind of energy. But I do feel like there's definitely a lot more truth to this situation than people are going to give credit to, because they always are trying to debunk certain things that are really kind of hard to explain, the things that have been coming out. And I feel, again, all I can say here, if you want to know more insights on this, you can always go to my Patreon. I probably will share more insights there, because it's more of a private safe place than rather here on YouTube. I don't want to run the risk of my channel getting deleted or demonetized, but I do feel like there is some validity to this, even if it isn't Wayfair itself. Other businesses that have been doing this underhanded for human trafficking, etc. So again, I feel like they are going to be in on the radar by the FBI and things like that. Not just them, but other people. The month of August is about revelations. I also want to bring out that the month of August itself has the portal, the Lionsgate portal, which happens every year on the 8th of August. So mark your calendars and remember that this is going to be a very August 8th, 2020 is the Lionsgate, like a portal opening, a very strong energetic shift. I also believe we are now no longer in Mercury retrograde. Mercury has gone direct. So between now and the end of the year, we are going to be in a good space. Thank God, because Mercury is Gemini's ruling planet. I am a Gemini, and honey, let me tell you, we went through the gigs through the month of July, well, the end of May and July, well, June and July, because Mercury is like responsible for communication and things like that. So the economy, I see it here in the U.S. and maybe all through the world, is going to become a little bit stronger. The people that were impacted, China, even I don't have anything against China. I don't have bad feelings for China, because the Chinese people are really great people. I don't feel like they are to blame for that virus, even though it was released by the government in China. The people are not a representation of the government. Okay, so I want to be very clear that I support my Chinese rays of light and my Chinese followers, because they are here, to support me, and I love everybody the same. I don't play prejudice and things like that. But I wanted to talk and retouch this subject, because I feel like when I did a reading maybe like 2 or 3 months ago or so, when I was talking about China, I think a lot of people misinterpreted my words and felt like maybe I was attacking the Chinese people, which is not the case. So much love to my Chinese people, but I do feel like there is going to be some focus on the economy, and there's going to be we're going to start seeing businesses kind of bouncing back from this. There's going to be, of course, businesses that are never going to bounce back from this. It's going to be forever until maybe they've gone out of business for good and they have to find some other kind of avenue. But we're going to see a lot of things bouncing back, the economy slowly coming back, regardless of what is out in the media about COVID-19, regardless, even though some of these governors are trying to execute their power and basically take away our constitutional rights by, ordering another shutdown and things like that. Remember, if they do this, which I feel like it's not going to be good if there are smart governors out there, they know that would be a big disservice to their state and for funding and things like that. Because think about it, you order another shutdown, schools are closed, right? And then there's going to be a lot of people that that cannot go to work. The teachers cannot go to work publicly at the schools. Supplies are not ordered for the schools. So there's a lot of defunding that is going on. With Black Lives Matter, I feel like this is going to, before I get to Black Lives Matter, let me go back to the school, because I'm jumping around again, because this all channeled, it's not rehearsed, it's not scripted. I'm just giving you the tea. And what Spirit tells me, a lot of you have questions whether or not children are going to be going back to school physically. I feel like certain countries may have their students already in schools. I'm not sure like what the European countries do, or Australia, when school starts for them, but I feel like a lot of countries, on the European side, maybe going back to school in person, right? The kids may be going back to a classroom setting or environment. However, here in the USA, I feel like it's going to only depend on certain areas that are not hit. But what I feel like is like people are still living in this shadow side, and they're still needing to do the shadow work to get to the healing that they need, so they can kind of remove the fears and allow children to go to school. I know a lot of parents want their children in school. There's a lot of people that don't want their children to go to school because they feel like there's going to be a second wave, or things would get worse if they went to school for this virus. But I feel like the majority of the USA may not have classes resume in the fall. And again, I could be entirely wrong about this, but I feel like a lot of them are going to come out with that revelation through the month of August, because a lot of schools start towards towards the end of August. And then a lot of them start in the first week of September here in the USA. But I feel like for the most part, a lot of kids, like in private schools, they may end up going back to like a classroom environment, but again, there would be a lot of different changes, like 6 feet apart, maybe the kids having to wear masks in the school classroom environment, doing hand sanitation. So it's going to be very, very interesting how this plays out. But I feel like some people may go back to school. Some people may opt. And I feel like this is going to all fall, again, back to what I said, to the hands of the actual governors of the state. Because I feel like the government has like pulled themselves out of there. I wish, that would be the only thing different that the government did, where they actually make it, they actually call the shots when it comes to that, and rather than leaving it in the governor's hands for each state. And the only reason that I say this is because I feel like without having a higher authority, set that precedent or tone, there is just going to be chaos with whatever state does that, in comparisons, and there's going to be mass hysteria through the month of August when it comes to school districts. And even though some of these schools want kids to go back, a lot of parents, honey, are not going to allow them to go back. So what they may do is, like, the kids that want to come to school, they may actually like reach out to parents. And y'all can let me and fill me in through the month of August, because those of you that are parents and have children in school. I don't have children of my own, so I don't know, and I don't have any family members that have children that are in school, so I don't know. But what Spirit is revealing to me is that they may do certain things, like in public schools, where the kids that want to come to school, the parents have to sign a waiver or agree to this, and they can go to school. And then the ones that want to be at home, they could probably watch live from a classroom environment, kind of like what they were doing through, however they were doing through the spring semester, right, through this year, through January through May. So again, we're going to have to see, but I see a lot of movement forward. I feel like we are in a more positive turning point, like I said, and I feel like it started through July. Regardless of what is seen in the media, we are seeing a lot more strength in the USA and coming together as people, as a nation, with the Black Lives Matter movement. I feel like there is some kind of uproar in August of 2020 as well. So we may see some more rioting, and we may see another public case about that as well. And I do feel like, it's going to be a month for everybody, where everybody in the world, not just in the USA, is starting to kind of wake up spiritually. But they're also, a lot of people around the world are looking for new ways of doing things, like, new career paths, new goals, and not staying in the same type of mind frame. I do feel like there is going to be a lot of low blows. And when I say that, I mean like deception when it comes around to, I'm just hearing the military, again, going back to the Vanessa Guillon case and just other cases out there. I feel like there is going to be a lot more focus on the military as well. So like I had mentioned the military overseas, but I'm also, feeling here domestically here in the USA, that there's going to be a lot more focus on that. I also feel like there may be something going on with another virus that's going to resurface, okay? Or not resurface, but it's going to be like surfacing. This is going to be like another potential. Maybe it may be flu related, but it may be separate. I'm not too sure on the actual consistency of what it is, but Spirit is talking about another virus that they are going to try to unleash into the population. This may be more in the Middle Eastern or actual European countries. It could even be in Africa. I don't know, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of that going on, and we may start hearing about that as well. And I feel like there is going to be a prosecution of a very important key player, or someone that is male I don't know what this means, but it's somebody that is in power, maybe kind of known throughout this, but there's going to be some kind of indictment, some kind of charge brought against this person. The energy through the month of August and what I see as far as predictions are concerned, I feel like a lot of people during this month are going to get married. There's going to be a lot of people separating as well, but a lot more people coming together in relationships. So if you are single out there, this is more a general prediction. If you are single, like August is a power month for a lot of people to find a love or potential to open yourself to that idea, even if you're not into online dating or going in person, meeting people. You're still kind of in that phase of finding yourself and healing. I still feel like that month is going to be very important for a lot of people. There's also something surfacing about the royal family when it comes to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry through the month of August 2020. We're going to start seeing more about, I kind of go back to the second reading that I did on them, and I feel like they may end up going back to, or one of them, like Prince Harry, may end up going back to Britain. I don't know what it is about, but it may not happen in August, but I feel like they're going to be more in the headlines during that time as well. Again, I feel like that we're going to start seeing a lot more dirty political ads and attacks against one another. Trump versus Biden, Biden versus Trump, and it's going to get ugly, and we're going to see a lot of people that are supporters of either one of them kind of like coming together. And I just hope that there's not any violence, regardless of what is happening in the world. We need peace. But these are the predictions that I see, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope it was very beneficial, or at least eye-opening to some of you. And I want to thank you for being on my channel. Again, I get a lot of people asking me, do I read privately for everyday people, not just celebrities? And the answer is yes. So if you'd like to book a psychic reading, you can go to my website. It's www.raymondguzman.net/readings. And my turnaround time for all of my readings are 5 to 8 weeks. However, for emergency readings, it is up to 72 hours turnaround time. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel here, and then follow me on Instagram at Psychic Medium Ray as well, because there's a lot of things that I share on Instagram that I may not share here because they have stories and stuff that's easier to share. And don't forget to join my Patreon if you're interested in having a mentor, having someone that can show you kind of provide you with psychic and mediumship development, as well as just like other spiritual insights and things like that I don't share here. I have a lot of content out there, in addition teaching a tarot course right now as well. So check that out. It's www.patreon.com/psychic medium Ray. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much. Blessings and love and light until next month. Bye.